I, Nilima Salvi, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Pharmaceutics, Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore. Today we are going to start with the second unit, that is tablets. In tablets, previously we discussed about the introduction, definition and advantage and disadvantages of the tablet. Now today we are going to start with the continuation of tablet, in which we are going to start with the ideal properties or characteristic for tablets. So first of all, what is the ideal property for tablet, or we can say how the tablet should be. So first of all, it should be non-toxic in nature. It means it should not create any kind of toxicity into body, or after administration it should be sufficiently safe for the body. Then second thing is that it should be inert. Inert, it means this tablet must be biocompatible in nature after the administration. Then commercially available in acceptable grades. It means the tablet must be commercially available into acceptable grades. Then the cost must be low, or it should be cheap. Then it should be physically and chemically stable. It means the stability condition for the tablet must be optimized, or physically and chemically it should be stable outside the body, and then after that free from microbial contamination. Up to the storage life, it should be free of microbial contamination or any other type of contamination. Then they should not alter bioavailability of drugs. So these are those drugs which we give into the regimen. Regimen means what? Regimen or dose. Regimen is in which we give a combination of drugs, or we can say in a single dose we generally or mostly administer 2 to 3 tablets at a time. So every tablet must not alter the bioavailability of other drugs. It means bioavailability, that is again rate and extent of the active which releases into the body for its action, or reaches into systemic circulation for its therapeutic response. So this is bioavailability. So if we have 2 to 3 drugs in a dose, then any one of the drug should not alter others bioavailability. So this was the ideal characteristic for tablet. Then it must be, or tablet must be color compatible. Then reproducibility. It means what? If we are preparing one batch of one tablet, then the result which we are getting of dissolution, disintegration, friability, hardness, weight variation, content uniformity. So whatever result we are getting, again and again into the next or in upcoming batches, the results or the evaluation parameters results must be same as the previous. Then it is known as reproducibility. It doesn't mean that if we are preparing first batch of tablet and first time the result was okay, or evaluation parameters was in limit, and second time the slight varies from the limits, or third time again they are in limits. So it is in variability into the results. So the results must be reproducible in nature. Then they should release API in predictable manner. It means what? If we are administering any tablet into body, then after that first of all this tablet has to be disintegrate into the body. After that its dissolution occur. In this dissolution process, the API which is present into the tablet get dissolved into the body fluids. Then body fluid, the drug get absorbed into systemic circulation, or this is known as absorption process. So this absorption takes this much time, and after this absorption the drug get distributed into the body and subsequently it get metabolized into the body. So it should release its API in predictable manner. Suppose if there is any uncoated tablet or coated tablet. In case of uncoated tablet, its disintegration time is up to 15 minutes, and in coating or coated tablets, the disintegration time varies as per the nature of coating or thickness of coating. So it could be up to hours. So in this case, the how much amount or in what time the API will get released into the body. So we predict this release time of API. So release of API should be in predictable manner. After that, it should have, or tablets should have sufficient strength to mechanical shock like production, packaging and shipping. It means that the tablet must withstand with the mechanical shocks like production. It doesn't mean that during the production the tablets get disintegrate or it get decomposed because of any of the reason, or during packaging they get disintegrate, or during shipping the flexes or tablet doesn't should form capping and lamination. In next videos we will discuss about the capping and lamination. So the tablet must withstand, it should have sufficient strength to mechanical shocks. So these are the ideal properties for the tablets. After that, start with the types of tablets. Next heading for in the tablet is types of tablets. So how much types of tablets are there? There are mainly 4 categories, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the main 4 categories for the tablets. In this first category, that is oral tablets for ingestion. Ingestion means for the purpose of swallowing or engulf the tablet. So this was the oral tablets for ingestion. So in this the tablets are divided into subcategories. That is, first one is compressed tablet. In this compressed tablet, generally the tablets are compressed along with the diluents, binder and disintegrating agents. If we talk about the general formula for the tablet, so we can say that the tablet must have the content, that is, if we are saying any formula for the tablet. So first of all, the content must be API. API could be single or more than one API could be present into a tablet. After that tablet API, we use diluents, then binding agent, then disintegrating agent, then opacifying agent and solvents. In this opacifying agent, we could have flavoring agent, sweetening agent and coloring agents. So these are the opacifying agents. So this is a general or basic formula for the tablet. In this formula of tablet, API is used to give its therapeutic response. After that, diluent, binding agent, diluent are generally used to increase the bulk of the formulation, and these are known as additives or excipients of the formula. So excipients doesn't have any pharmacological response onto the body, only they help to make a dosage form. So these are the additives or excipient, and main this API gives therapeutic response onto the body. So after that, in compressed tablet, generally we compress the tablet by adding this substances, and this compressed tablet mainly used for the water soluble drugs such as paracetamol. So in this simply we compress the tablet. After that, the second one is multiple compressed tablet. In this we perform multiple cycles of compression onto a single tablet. Therefore they are known as multiple compressed tablets. In these tablets, what happen? They are again divided into two parts, that is layered tablet and compression coated tablets. In layered tablet, what happen? We make the tablet as a layers, or we can say we first compress the first layer of tablet. After that, on this layer we put another content, and again we compress that content as a layer. So by this multiple layering of content, what we can do is that we can prevent the incompatibility into the components, or we can make the components physically and chemically stable. So this is layered tablets. There could be multiple layers, so on, and on to the basis of thickness of these layers, the dissolution rate would be vary of the tablet. After that, compression coated tablets. In this, what we do is that on this layered tablet we make opacifying agents coating or layer, or we make this layer tablet palatable or opacifying in nature. So this is the last or third coating onto this layer tablet. They are known as compression coated tablets. After that, next is repeat action tablets. Repeat action, in this what happens? We make a tablet and we put different thickness coating onto the same. So whenever first layer will get erode or release the drug into the body, and this core would be safe or untouched with the liquid. So it is safe and it is not releasing the content into the body, and this layer is releasing the content into the body. So there could be multiple layers or of different thickness. This layer we can put onto the core material. So we can achieve the repeat action after long interval or one defined interval of time. So this could be known as repeat action tablets. Then delayed action or enteric coated tablets. It means in this kind of tablet we make a coating onto the tablet. If this is a tablet, we make a enteric coat onto the or coating onto the tablet. What is enteric coating? So in this we use cellulose acetate phthalate and acetone, which make enteric coating solution, and we coat this tablet with this solution. So what happens whenever we will administer this enteric coated drugs into the body? They withstand into acidic pH, or they do not disintegrate into the stomach, in which environment is acidic, and in this environment they remain as such for 1 to 2 hours. After that, when the tablet pass into the intestine, in which basic nature or basic environment is there. So in this basic environment, the tablet get disintegrate. So through this we can prevent the drug from the drug degradation into the stomach, and we can delay the action of the tablet by its coating. So it is known as enteric coated tablets. Then next is sugar and chocolate coated tablets. In this we put multiple coatings and different thickness coating onto the tablet of sugar and chocolatey syrups. Main or basic reason behind the coating is that we can protect the core material or tablet because of the atmosphere, and we can mask the bitter taste of hydroxypropyl cellulose or ethyl cellulose or hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose as film coating material, and we put a coating onto the tablet, and this is known as film coated tablets. Then chewable tablets. Chewable tablets are generally made for those patients which generally for children and adults who are having problem in engulfing or swallowing the drugs. So in that case we can go for chewable tablets. Generally antacid tablets are available as chewable tablets. In this, the basic content which we use is mannitol. Mannitol is used as a diluent for chewable tablets, and these tablets are meant for the disintegration in between the tongue and teeth, and after that the drug get reach into the body. So this was chewable tablet. After that, the second main category, this was the first category, oral tablet for ingestion. Then second is tablets used for oral cavity. It means the drugs are mainly placed into the oral cavity, and after the oral cavity the drug get enter into the circulation. First of all, reason behind this oral cavity is that through this we can prevent first pass metabolism. So what is first pass metabolism? So first pass metabolism is that we prevent the degradation of drug into the stomach, or you may say the degradation into the liver, or we prevent the metabolism of drug into the liver. So we pass the pathway, or we pass the alimentary canal into the body, and drug directly get released into the blood circulation from oral cavity. So they are known as the tablet used for oral cavity. Example is buccal tablet. Buccal tablet are those tablets which are placed into buccal cavity. In buccal cavity, generally vitamin C tablets are given, and they are placed in between the buccal cavity and tongue. Main advantage is that we can prevent first pass metabolism. Then sublingual tablets. In this sublingual tablets, we place the tablets below the tongue. Below tongue we place the tablet, and from where it directly get released, or API get released into the circulation, or it get absorbed into the body. Then lozenges and dental cone. Lozenges are the tablets which are meant for its local action into the oral cavity and throat. Generally we give through this antiseptic, antibacterial, antitussive and astringent type of substances. Example is strepsil and Vicks type of tablets. So they are used for their local action into the buccal cavity or oral cavity and throat. Then dental cones. Dental cones are generally used after the extraction of teeth. When extraction of teeth occurs, there is a blank cavity occurs into the mouth. So in that case, we can place the dental cone into the mouth cavity, so that we can prevent the contamination into that cavity, and we also can prevent the bleeding from the cavity. So they are dental cones. After that, third main category is that tablet administered by other route. It means other than this oral route, how we can administer the drugs. So there are two ways, that is implantable tablet and vaginal tablets. Implantable, it means we can implant the drug through minor surgery into the body. So these are known as implantable tablet. Such tablets must be sterile in nature, or we can use the sterile solution of this tablets to give or to implant into the body. Then vaginal tablet. In this we use the tablets which must be placed into the vaginal cavity, and generally antifungal, antibacterial tablets and hormones are given through this vaginal tablets. Then the fourth category is that tablet used to prepare the solution. We make the solution of tablet, after that we administer that solution into the body. So in this there are four subcategories, that is effervescent tablet, dispersible tablet, hypodermic tablet, tablet triturates. First is effervescent tablet. Effervescence, it means when we react sodium bicarbonate with any of the citric acid or tartaric acid, it get evolve or release the CO2 into this reaction, and because of release of this CO2, effervescence produced into the formulation. Therefore, they are known as effervescence tablet. And this effervescence tablet, generally we can say ENO type of substance can be delivered through this phenomena. After that, second is dispersible tablet. It means we are dispersing the tablets into the solution, and tablet get dispersed into the liquid, and after that we administer that liquid into the body. So they are dispersible tablets. Example is aspirin tablets or Dispirin, which are generally given as dispersible solution. Then third is hypodermic tablets. Hypodermic tablets are given, or they are again sterile type of tablets which are dissolved or solubilized into the solution solvent, which is again sterile in nature. Then we place this solution below the or at the hypodermic area of the skin. So they are hypodermic tablets. Lastly is tablet triturates. It means the tablets which are prepared by trituration method. In trituration method, what happened? We mix the API along with the diluent, and through molding process we prepare such kind of tablet triturates. So in this potent drugs can be given through tablet triturates. So this was the types of tablets. Thank you.